Hey everyone, it's Jonathan, and welcome back to Wonderland Wednesday. Today we're continuing our discussion with Sam and Jenna, talking about all the many missing versions of Alice in Wonderland. In this episode, we're picking up where we left off last time, talking all about the missing Alices made in the 1950s.
Next one is Ford Theater Hour in 1950.
Yeah, so this one, is it in the archive? I think it's
It
supposed
is.
to be.
I believe the University of Georgia has a copy of this one, of all places. They have a 16 millimeter kinescope.
So this one exists, we just can't watch it.
Unless you physically go there. I actually emailed them a long time ago, and they said they can actually screen it if you make an appointment in advance.
Huh.
So anybody in Georgia, go ahead.
Interesting.
Maybe we should go there, Sam, just to see this. It's like, have you been to Georgia? Yes. What did you do? I saw the Alice. Anything else? Nope. Yeah, so this one, I don't know if it might be in other archives. I think possibly David Schaefer, who was kind of like the Alice adaptation collector before us, he might have had a copy because he had it listed in a list of adaptations in the annotated Alice, but I don't know for sure. Maybe he didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. If he did, it wasn't in the collection that he released.
Well, he basically only released what we did because we asked.
Yeah, I know.
We literally asked him to release the public domain ones like 1931 and 1915, and he did it.
Yeah, at first he was kind of apprehensive about it, but eventually he did it, which was great.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And I talked to him a little bit. He's passed on. I kind of wish I talked to him a little bit more.
Same.
And it seemed like he just, because when we met him at Alice 150, and which was like a celebration of 150th anniversary publication of Alice. And he was having a film screening, and we saw 1910 there for the first time. And you have to keep in mind at that point, we had no clue what 1910 looked like, really. So we were just like, we need to get this.
I mean, we actually sat there in the theater with our phones recording the thing, and that was the first copy that went up on YouTube.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? We might as well approach him and ask him if he could release it. But we were into Alice adaptations, and he was like mind blown. Like, other people are into Alice adaptations? Like,
yeah, it was kind of amazing because it seems like very few people in the LCSNA are really into adaptations.
They're not really at all.
That's so weird. Why wouldn't they be?
For some reason, they just don't run in the same because we know people are interested in them, but they just don't join the society. They talk about like book collecting and stuff like that. And
yeah, they're more into that than like film and TV adaptations.
If anything, they'll collect like 1933 stuff because I guess they like 1933.
That's kind of an odd one to have as your favorite, but I guess.
Well, they have a lot of rare merch, I think, for 1933. So when you get something from that, it's like, ooh, you have a crayon set. Yes, there was a crayon set.
1933 had a ton of merch. Too much, if you ask me.
Really?
Too much. It's not fair. 1972 should have more. But yes, they had a lot of merch.
Yeah. In terms of Alice merch, it's number 2 by far.
Yeah.
Of course, Disney is number 1.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they had like a painting set, a board game. The only thing they didn't have was a doll. Anyway,
that seems
actually
like something that they should have had. That's like the most obvious thing.
I would actually try to collect a Charlotte Henry doll, even if I don't like that Alice that much. But I'm sure it would be even more expensive than my big 1972 one back there. But anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. 1950. So this one was also kind of weird because Life sent a photographer out to take pictures of it, and they kind of like did some surrealistic things with the pictures. But I don't know. It looks like a pretty standard one, but I do really like how Alice's pinafore is scalloped. I think that's really cute. Other than that, the animal masks are pretty bad. And there's not much else you can really glean from it, I think. The picture of Alice dancing with the rabbit's kind of cute.
Yeah, I think Alice looks really cute in this one. The animals,
Yeah, Oh, and also I think the person who played the White Rabbit, Dorothy Jarnack, she was also the choreographer. All right, and that's all we know about that one.
Yep.
Okay.
So if someone goes to Georgia, tell us what it's like.
Yeah, please.
University of Georgia? Is that what you said?
I believe so.
Okay. It's somewhere in that state.
Yeah, it's definitely in Georgia.
That would be an interesting trip. Well, the next one is 1951, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Hecht, Hecht.
Yep.
Yeah, we just
this
call it
is-
that to differentiate it from the Disney one.
Yeah, this one's really annoying to try to research because it's the same year that the Disney version came out. And there's almost nothing that we know about it. We know it was directed by Bernard Hecht, probably pronouncing that wrong. And we have a comment that called it, quote, probably the first French TV movie, most certainly in the form of a film theatrical show. Of course, whether that's actually accurate or not, we don't really know. And we have a picture. That's it. Just because of the year, this one's almost impossible to research.
Yeah, that would complicate it.
It's also kind of hard to research things in different languages in general. At least it is
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, same here. But the year really hurts for this one because normally I would try to look through newspaper archives around the time. But if you tried to do that with 1951, you just get dominated by Disney stuff.
Yeah, because it was big in France too. So
Yeah.
and that's the other confusing thing. If it really was like France's first televised thing, what did they say? Probably the first French TV movie. You think there'd be more info on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have almost nothing.
Yeah.
We don't even know who played Alice.
Maybe it's in a French archive somewhere.
Maybe. That would be neat if it was.
It's possible. I mean, you never know.
I do think the set in the picture looks a little interesting. And Alice's dress kind of looks like tulle. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Tulle.
I think it's tulle. I think it's pronounced tulle.
Yeah. Yeah, like the kind of like what ballerina dresses look like. And that's kind of interesting. Also sleeveless. I like that cute little table.
Yeah.
The brilliant commentary brought to you from me. And that's it.
Not much else we can really say about it.
If anybody who knows French and can research a little bit better and find a little bit more info, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, that's it.
The next one, there's actually 3 in the year 1954.
Yeah.
The one, it just says info. That's all we've got is just some information, not even pictures.
Yes. This is actually the one I found the night before that Disney World trip when I couldn't sleep. Don't know too much about this one either. It aired on WOR TV, which was a TV station in New York City. It was part of a 3-actor dramatic series, quote, called Spotlight. And that's about all we know. It was apparently an hour-long teleplay.
But yet it was airing on different nights.
Yeah, it aired 5 nights in a row, but it was an hour-long teleplay. I don't know how that worked.
Next one is just called Children's Newsreel.
Okay, so this one is also BBC. So this one is actually probably just a segment. From the looks of it, it's probably Mad Tea Party. And it was probably to promote a play that they were doing at the time. And we have some pictures of like promotion for the play itself. Oh, and also there's a picture of Alice with a hideous animal costume thing.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know if that's supposed to be a cat, like the Cheshire Cat.
I honestly can't tell what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. And then they have a photo with her like wearing the Mad Hatter's hat. That's kind of cute.
Yeah, that is cute.
Okay, it's a cat. Just looking at the other photo. I have no idea who the girl is behind Alice. Yeah, and then also what's funny was when I first saw these pictures, I was like, she's not wearing her pinafore, but it looks like, because there's another picture in a magazine, looks like she just didn't have a pinafore in this version. And that's all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last one from 1954 is the London Festival Ballet.
Yes, so this one was also a stage production. So 7 scenes, a lot of roles looking at it. There was a skunk apparently. Great.
Sometimes it's
like
interesting just what
not
these
canon.
companies add to these Alice's.
Ugh, this is a stinky Wonderland. Sorry, just being dumb here. They had like a whiting lobster, mother and baby squirrel, father and baby owl, a robin. So I mean, it definitely was a production. There's not much else we know about this one though.
It was another one that aired on the BBC.
Yeah, I think Alice, her costume is really sweet in this.
Yeah, it is.
The lobster, I think that's the lobsters. I can't tell what the ladies are supposed to be, but I like it.
I mean, it is labeled as a picture of the lobster quadrille, so, but I don't know what the ladies are doing there.
I don't know what they are, but it's kind of like a Victorian aesthetic thing going on for whatever they are, so I like it.
It's interesting.
Yeah. And then like the rabbit kind of looks like he's going to a masquerade. I kind of like it. I kind of like that vibe.
It's unique, that's for sure, and certainly interesting.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see this one.
I think this one aired on BBC, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah. But I haven't seen any mention of it being preserved.
Yeah, I don't think there's an entry for it in their catalog, unfortunately.
Yeah. So this one might be gone, which is a shame. I think it looks good. Wait, one more thing. Why is the Cheshire Cat the Mad Tea Party?
Good
in the upper left
question.
photo. Yeah.
I never noticed that before, but yeah, that's a good question.
Somebody time travel and tell me. Maybe it's kind of like a Disney situation where the White Rabbit's suddenly at the party.
Maybe.
Cheshire Cat's just like, I want to join in.
They wanted to give him more scenes, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Because, I mean, it is a ballet. Oh, wait, he's with the dormouse. Maybe he's trying to eat her.
Okay, that would be hilarious.
It's actually a little bit clever. It feels a little Disney-esque a tiny bit because you remember Dormouse like, cat.
Yes.
But they actually put the cat in. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, this would be a really interesting one to see.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. 1956, and that one, I don't even have a title written down for that one, so there must not be a whole lot known.
Oh, we have a tiny bit. I love this one. We only have one picture of it, but gosh, I love this picture. The White Rabbit's makeup. I admit it's a little scary, but it's also really impressive. I love it. It's like Michael Crawford's rabbit's dad, and it looks a lot like the Michael Crawford's rabbit, doesn't it?
It actually kind of does.
Yeah, and I assume that's the rabbit hole behind them, but I don't know. So I really want to see this version. I think the makeup looks really good for a TV production in the 50s.
It really does. It's actually kind of amazing.
Yeah. So this was also another Herbert and Prentice adaptation play. And it's still pretty much all I know. I mean, we have like the cast and crew list, but none of them really jump out for me as being special.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Newspaper mentions John Glenn Jones, who did the 1948 Alice as well. But anyway, so this one was probably recorded, but there's no mention of it in the archive.
Yeah. And again, it's yet another BBC version.
So
they probably taped over it.
They probably did. But that said, I mean, Doctor Who episodes have been found at affiliates of BBC. So
yeah,
maybe
that's true. You never know.
But
I wonder how much of that is they're finding them because people are specifically looking for them.
Yeah, definitely.
So if this one does exist out there at some affiliate station, I feel like the chances are small for finding it because people aren't specifically looking for it.
Yeah, it's actually kind of amazing how much stuff is actually out there, but nobody knows about it because nobody's tried to look for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people used to believe that 1910 Alice was lost. And yet we know of 3 copies of it that are out there.
So I wouldn't be, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if with the Doctor Who stuff, they did find other BBC stuff and it just kind of like no one cared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Yeah. But definitely the Doctor Who stuff is being purposely looked for. So it's difficult.
Yeah,
So
a
I'm
lot of
sure-
people are looking for that stuff, so that's honestly a large reason I think of why that stuff tends to get found.
Well, I'm sure though, if someone did find like BBC stuff and it had Doctor Who, and they told BBC they found it, that they found other stuff, BBC would be like, "Hell yeah, we want."
Oh, I'm
all
sure.
of it. Yeah,
You
but
would hope.
hopefully, so maybe one day, probably not. Don't count on it. But if we
Yeah.
do, we'll be blessed because I want to see that rabbit talk.
Me too. And I'm also curious about the other characters, like if they also went for such costumes like that.
Yeah, I mean, some of them will probably be horrifying. This is early television, but it's still, even if you think this is a horrifying rabbit, it's still a big step up from previous animal characters analysis before
definitely.
this. Yeah.
No question.
Thanks to Jenna and Sam for joining me for these episodes. If you want more from them, I'll have their links in the description below. Next week, we'll be moving on to the 1960s, so we'll see you then for another episode of Wonderland Wednesday. Thanks for watching.